Before I start the video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you like the video, please click the like button. I'm here at the Disney Resort to talk about why Bob isn't going to be too celebratory during the 70th celebration. And it has a lot to do with his Flywheel is about to start burning like the windmill at Dark Universe in Epic Universe. This started out at the beginning of the year, but it's gone back a lot farther than that. I mean, the last year the studios had a good year was 2019. And this year is probably going to be one of their worst, at least as far as losing money goes. And why is this important? Well, you see, since the beginning of the Walt Disney Company, which Bob is doing his best to destroy before he goes out the door, it was the studios that drove everything. It's the studios that allowed him to build Disneyland in 1955. But eventually, it was the parks, specifically Disney World, that now feed the studios and feed linear television and feeds Disney Plus. And the way it works is like this. So you have an IP. You come out with a movie. If the movie's popular, well, then you put an attraction into the parks. And you also sell a ton of merchandise. And then that money comes back and it is reinvested into the studios again and into linear television and into streaming. And this is the Flywheel. That's how the Flywheel is supposed to work. The problem is nothing that the studios is bringing out these days, with very few exceptions, is doing anything to attract new people in the parks. They're not building any new attractions based on what is coming out in the movies. And merchandise is falling off a cliff as well. And even when they have a success, let's go back to Inside Out 2. Huge success, huge surprise. There are no Inside Out attractions in the park. They're not driving any foot traffic into the park. And as far as I know, it didn't sell a ton of merchandise either. And then let's move forward to the present. Disney has had 3 major bombs already this year, with a 4th coming out this weekend. They've had Black Captain America. They've had the Thunderbolts / New Avengers / No One Cares. And they have had Snow White, which cost them $300 million all by itself. And by the way, only sold $2 million worth of merchandise. And I guarantee you that isn't driving anybody towards the parks or towards the attractions. Same thing with the Avengers. If I was to go into California Adventure right now, Adventure Campus would probably be pretty close to dead, because no one cares anymore about Marvel. So what worked this year? Well, so far one thing: Lilo and Stitch. And here's the problem with Lilo and Stitch. They had an attraction for Lilo and Stitch in Magic Kingdom. It was called Stitch's Great Escape. Well, that thing lasted, I think, 14 years before they shut it down for good. So it was not a popular attraction. They could not take advantage of a popular IP inside the parks. That does you no good. The merchandising, yes, the merchandising does sell, even to this day. It is the one part of the Flywheel that works on this. Now you have Elio coming out, and it is going to come out to be a massive bomb. We are talking Wish-level bombing. This is going to be like an Oppenheimer reverse effect. This thing is going to get nuked at the box office. I don't think it's going to make 100 million global before they yank it. That's how bad this is. This is really an awful movie. Everybody said it's awful. Nobody's going to go see it, and it's going to run into a huge summer that's coming up. And like I said, any gain that they got from Lilo and Stitch is going to be eaten by Elio, and that's going to put them back down about 700-800 million this year, and we're not even halfway through the year yet. And now you got the Fantastic Four last step, because it might be Marvel's last step here. I don't think this is going to do 100 domestic. I don't think this is going to do 400 worldwide at the end. It's going to lose them another 200 million. So basically, at the end of July or something, Disney is going to be close to $1 billion in the hole. And there is nothing to pick up the slack in the second half of the year. And nobody cares about the Fantastic Four. It's going to drive no merchandise. They're not going to make any attractions. It's not going to put any foot in the park. Elio definitely is not going to sell any merchandise and is not going to drive anyone into the parks, because they're not going to make any attractions on this. The rest of the year, well, you got Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2 might make some money. And it has a very small chance of reaching $1 billion. After that, what do you got? Well, you got Avatar 3. Here's the problem with Avatar 3. Avatar 3 is not a Disney property. All Disney does is distribute that for James Cameron. So they get about 25% of the profits. James Cameron's probably going to make them spend between $200 million and $250 million in marketing, and that means it needs to clear $2 billion for Disney just to break even on its marketing, which it's probably not going to do. So Disney's going to lose money on Avatar. And let's talk about some of the new attractions that are going to be coming, I guess, within the next 5 years. They're all going to be in Disney's California Adventure. There's nothing new going in Disneyland. And would you really want it to, with the way the Imagineers are doing things these days? But anyway, where the Monsters ride is, I forget what it's called, Mike and Sully something. In Hollywoodland, they're going to open up a Avatar attraction. Not really sure what it is yet. I don't have a lot of hope for it, because unlike the land that was supervised by James Cameron in Disney World, I don't think he's going to have anything to say on this. So this attraction is going to be a bust. On top of that, you have 2 attractions going into Avengers Campus. One is based on Infinity War, which by the time it comes out, Infinity War will be 10 years old. And the other one is based on Iron Man, a character that is now dead. So I don't see how either one of these attractions are going to drive any foot traffic. I don't see how they're going to be interesting or anything like that. All of this is going to be stale by the time they finish making these rides. Like I said, Infinity War will be over 10 years old probably by the time they're done with it. Iron Man's dead. They're not bringing him back to life. And the last attraction that is going into California Adventure is a Coco ride. Coco came out in 2017, and although it is a fairly popular IP, that is going to be almost 15 years old by the time they're done building this attraction. I don't think it's going to drive a lot of traffic either. I don't think Coco drives a ton of merchandising either. So again, this is why the Flywheel is not only broken, but it is burning. And it's going to start showing up, I guarantee you, this year. Disney World is already hurting. Their attendance is already way down. Epic Universe has taken a huge bite out of them. And this is a self-inflicted wound, because how did Epic Universe get created? It was created by Bob Iger because he bought Hulu. Comcast owned Hulu. Universal's under Comcast. When Bob paid all those billions, instead of investing them into the parks, because he somehow thinks that Disney Minus is going to be something profitable when it's never going to be profitable, they built that. It's also going to fund a Universal Studios in England. It's also going to fund a Universal Studios park in Texas. And it's going to fund a 365 days a year Hollywood Horror Nights, I think that's what it's called, in Las Vegas. All that bought and paid for by Bob Iger. Congrats, Bob. And by the time Disney tries to catch up in 5 years, like I said, Universal could have 2 more gates, one in Texas and one in the United Kingdom. They're just so far behind. They wasted all this money on streaming, and it has been a total bust. And what's worse yet is they just can't admit it. They've lost $100 billion probably, when you include the purchase of Fox Studios, when you include the purchase of Hulu, and when you include all the money they had to invest just to get it off the ground. And it has barely turned any profit in any quarter. You're talking about millions. You're talking about less than 1% of what they've spent is what they've gotten on a return. It is ridiculous. It is stupid. And all I gotta say is, while the flywheel is burning, where are the shareholders? You guys rejected Perlmutter. Why? You actually have faith in Bob? And like I said, Bob is looking for the exit, and he's also looking for his fall guy. And that's whoever takes the job after Bob, they're going to be the fall guy. He's going to try and blame this all on them when this is all his fault. This has just been a massive disaster. And it's not going to get any better. And when this is over, I don't know how the Disney company is ever going to survive. So that's going to end this video. Like I said, if you like the video, please click the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. And like my father told me when I was 18 years old, get out.